Straighten this out. All right. Hey, it's Lowry Smith of the CommanderSmiths here with a Spotlight deck. We are making Umbris Fear Manifest. This is part 2 of kind of just live streaming building the deck. And yeah, last week was a ton of fun, and we are going to try and knock out the deck today. I've added a bunch of cards. Last week we ended up with 73 cards. I added some of them from last week that I already cut, and then I also added a bunch. So we're roughly around 90 cards right now that we are going to want to cut today. Right now, the idea is that Umbris is going to get real big with horrors and stuff coming into play. And then we're going to try and blanket, try and protect them to be able to come back or reanimate them. And we're going to do, I really want to do the Orvar idea of like kind of spell slinging and making copies of horrors and nightmares. And I think I have enough stuff that's going to make it work, but it might be too bulky. I hope it's not. I think that'd be a really fun way of doing it. So Umbris is a really cool card. Um, if you didn't watch last week, there was a lot of cards we went over, a lot of ideas, and this week. But if if I'm adding new cards, I'm going to talk about them as I'm going through this initial deck list. And if they're from last week, I'm just gonna let that kind of roll. Okay. Um, and but I will just go over Umbris one time just for shits and giggles. And so actually what I want to do is I want to post the current the deck list into the live chat. Paste. Oop. All right. So I should have posted. Am I not seeing? Let's see here. Okay, so I posted the deck list, and that should be popping up here soon. And that'll be the cards that I'm working with, and some of the new ones that were added in. And do, 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 do. That should pop up. Let's see here. Let's repost that. Hopefully that sticks because it. Hey, Adam, are you on? I'm not sure if Adam is not on or not, but we set up a Mox field this week. Maybe if somebody could find the CommanderSmiths, or maybe how about this? Anybody in the Discord? I'm going to post the link there on my phone. And maybe you can try that, and then I can just kind of move forward. That's the link on our Discord. If you want to join our Discord and hang out, really cool community, you just become a patron for $1 and you can move on. We do have proxies. I don't know if Adam makes proxies, and if you want proxies, we give them away at certain levels. So I'm going to start moving. Let's reread Umbris Fear Manifest just to make sure I know what the heck I'm doing. So it's 3 colorless: black, blue, nightmare, horror. It is a 1/1. It gets +1/+1 for each card your opponents own in exile. Whenever Umbris or another nightmare or horror enters the battlefield under your control, target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a land card. Oop. All right, try and get that shit together. All right, so we want to play horrors. We want to play a couple nightmares, not a whole ton, to exile cards, and we're gonna try and get Umbris real big and unblockable and just kill people with commander damage. So let's see what we've come up with so far. I'll just name cards that were from last week. Anything new I'll talk about. Cutting Rhetoric, Yawgmoth's Physician. So I do want to be sacrificing some cards. This draws you cards, put -1, so it's kind of removal. I've always found this to be a cool sack outlet that draws you cards, and so I'm going to see if I can fit this in there. Grizzleaxe, Grim Harrisbrooks, Midnight Reaper, Phyrexian Arena, Unfulfilled Desires, Doom Whispers, A Neat Nightmare, Windfall, Heirloom Blade, Village Rites. Okay, so this is sacrificing creatures to draw cards. Again, I'm looking for sack outlets. Yes, horror, Ryan. Thank you. And so it's instant speed. I did cut a couple, one or two that were sorceries. Um, I don't know how many sack outlets like this. Like it just draws me cards, which is still sweet. But blue does a really good job of this anyway. 1 mana, draw you 1 or 2 cards. It's pretty sweet. Skull Clamp. Creatures are dying. I'm drawing 2 cards. It's kind of a staple. Sensei's Top, Sire of Stagnation, Dread Presence, Costly Plunder is another sacrifice an artifact or a creature. Draw 2 cards, instant speed, might be nice in the deck. Plumb the Forbidden, which is sacrifice a creature, lose a life, draw a card. And then you can sacrifice as many as you want. And that would be kind of very similar. Sweet, do it a bunch. Heartless Summoning, talked about that last week. Woe Strider, Phyrexian Rager, Pawn of Ulamog. I have creatures dying. This is kind of like Pitiless Plunderer, but you're getting creatures that you can also sacrifice for mana. So it could be kind of a cool thing in there. Jet Medallion, reducing black spells, which might be kind of nice. Bauble, Soul Ring, Kuruk, Talisman of Dominance, Demir Signet, Soul Devi, Adnate, Sifter of Skulls is another one that's going to get me some creatures to sacrifice when I'm sacrificing horrors. So I think that's cool. Oblivion Sower, Arcane Signet, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Sword of Hearth and Home. It's going to be blinking horrors and getting me land. So I think this is doing a lot of work in this deck, and I like it quite a bit. Ashes to Ashes, Thing in the Ice. Pendril Miss. Here is, so it's an enchantment that each creature gains during your upkeep, pay 1 or bury this creature. I think this can help me not get overrun. It's going to slow people down. Probably it might slow me down too, but I don't really care since I have reanimate cards in here now. And sometimes if they die, they can come back. I think it'll be an interesting card to consider. Same thing with Toxic Deluge. I can kind of wrath the board, but Umbris is going to be able to stick around. And another way to control the board. Baleful Mastery is an exile. Attrition's a sack outlet and destroying other players' creatures. I don't know if I'm going to like this one as much in this deck because I'm not going to be making a ton of creatures, I don't think. So we'll see. Reality Shift, exile Deadly Rollock, exile Raven Form. I kind of like Raven Form. Adam is watching this in the shower and he thinks it's weird. It's not. It's acceptable and very okay. Raven Form's cool. I like it because it can deal with an artifact. Exile target artifact or creature. So that's why I'm considering it pretty close in here, even though it's a sorcery. Curse of the Swine, exiling Hullbreaker Horror. That's a big duh. Faceless Butcher, Gate to Phyrexia. Another one, a sack outlet that can destroy artifacts in a deck. Just as long as you have a t-shirt with That's gross, Steven. Very gross. But Gate to Phyrexia, this is reserve list. It's pretty expensive, so if you don't got it, you don't need it type thing. Ravenous Chupacabra, Phyrexian Obliterator. Thassa is going to be pretty cool. It's scrying, and I can pay 2 to make Umbris unblockable. Distortion Strike makes Umbris unblockable. Protective Bauble is an aura that's like Whisper Silk Cloak, pretty cool. And so it gives Shroud an unblockability. I kind of like that, kind of want to consider it. Shadow Rift gives Shadow, which is basically unblockable. Draw a card. Gift of Doom. It's a sack outlet to give Umbris Death Touch and Indestructible, essentially, once you morph it over. Slip Through Time is unblockable and draw a card. Swiftfoot Boots, Not of This World, is basically going to be a free counterspell to protect Umbris, which is going to be sweet, I think, in here. Don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off, though. We'll see. Shadow Spear is going to give Umbris Trample and Lifelink, so that might be a consideration on just being able to get Umbris through. Falthis, Menace. Yeah, I already talked about that last time. All right, here is Whisper Silk Cloak, Classic, Spellskite, Supernatural Stamina, Essence Flux, added back in Deadeye Navigator, Ghostly Flicker. We have Whispering Madness. So here's a Reanimate card, Victimize. It's a sack outlet, also bringing back creatures. Seems like it's going to work here. Brought back Machias. Wake the Dead seems like a pretty cool card. Instant, X, black. Cast it only during an opponent's turn, but return X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sacrifice those creatures at the beginning of the next end step. And I think this is going to do a lot of exiling if you need to. I like that it's an instant. I like that I can set up some nice blocks for you, and you can bring back Umbris and a bunch of horrors, and they would all trigger. And I think it'd be kind of cool. Snapcaster Mage, since I'm going more instants and sorceries. Reanimate, Classic, just kind of very similar to something like Undying Evil or Malakir Rebirth. Cauldron of Souls, Lifeline, Hell's Caretaker is a horror. Put back Displace in, Spark Double, Orvar. I still think this is a really cool idea, so I want to see if I can get those targeting spells to work. I got Phantasmal Image back in here. Like I said, I like that last week. Same thing with Sakashima the Imposter and Sakashima 1,000 Faces. Panharmonicon's going to double up those horror triggers. Maskwood Nexus is going to turn everything into horrors. Yorox Fenlurker, Chasm Skulker, Abyssal Nocturnus, Psychosis Crawler, Soul Guide Lantern, Ashiok Dream Render, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Ashiok Nightmare Muse. Those are all the cards that I'm going to be considering today and trying to cut all that out. Some lands that were brought up last time on the stream. I just want to say I got them. High Market, Phyrexian Tower, Rogue's Passage, Shizo Death Storehouse makes it harder to block. And then I like to have some draw ability on my lands. Bonder's Enclave is always going to be live. Gaia Reach Sanitarium, War Room, Path of Ancestry, and Hostile will be a sacrifice outlet and still technically a horror, but that's cool. So, and if you're wondering where some cards are from last week, I cut them just to kind of save us some time. So we're going to go over why they were cut. Leyline of the Void. I think this is going to go better in a build that is milling a lot more. And so I noticed and realized that I don't really care about controlling graveyards nearly as much in this deck. So that is just kind of a cut at this point. Same thing with Author of Shadows. It's exiling all graveyards. It's kind of expensive. It's not a horror, and it's only giving me one card. Not really worth it, I don't think, at this point. 5 mana to bring back 2 creatures, milling some. It could have been a fun card. I think it's still kind of cool, but if I was milling, I'd much more rather have this in there. This is only affecting one player, Mesmeric Fiend. It's a horror, but it's only one player. Not worth it. Winged Boots, just not worth it when I'm trying to play more spells. Same thing with Aqueous Form. I'm trying to play more spells, so the auras aren't going to work. So Kai's Ghost Form, Aura. Cutting Solemn. I love this guy. I feel bad about it, but it's got to go. Phyrexian Reclamation. It's an enchantment, hoping to have instants and sorceries kind of do the work. Viscer Seer, sack outlet, but I think I have enough in there that are going to draw me cards and stuff like that. Dark Deal is a wheel, but it's not gaining me cards, and I don't think this version is worth it. And these are the saddest cuts. Gravestorm and Web of Inertia. They're really good if you are getting rid of graveyards, but once I figured out that I'm not doing mill, I'm not messing with graveyards too much. I have 2 cards that are going to exile cards at this point. And these can be really powerful in this kind of deck. So a mill version, if this doesn't work, probably is the way I would go. Um, so we'll see. But those are about 13 cuts that you guys skipped out on. There are other cards that are on that Moxfield list, and I cut those automatically. Like there is a considering section down below, and those were all of the cards I was considering, and I cut out like probably 20 of the 30 I was going to add. So now we're to the hard part, and we're going to try and figure out what to do with these 90-ish cards. And I'm going to first put them in a pile, and then we'll in the piles of what they're going to do within the deck, because I think, I added a lot of draw, some ramp, sack outlets, and protection and unblockability and stuff like that. So I want to pile them up and see where they're at. And hopefully I can figure it out. And if not, hopefully the chat can help me out here too. So Cunning Rhetoric, I'm going to go with draw on this one. Same thing with Yawgmoth. Grizzleaxe's draw. I kind of had them in piles, but my son got a hold of them today. And I was like, oh, shit. So Grim Hairsprux, Midnight Reaper, Phyrexian Arena, Unfulfilled Desires, Doom Whisper, I consider like card selection, so that would be in the draw section. Windfall, Heirloom Blade's going to get creatures into my hand, Village Rites, Skull Clamp, Sensei's Divining Top, Sire's Stagnation's going to draw me cards. Same thing with Dread Presence, Costly Plunder, Plumb the Forbidden. So that is a stack of what? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's probably a little high on the draw. And so let's look for anything that just looks awful. So I think we would go cut Costly Plunder before I would do Village Rites. But I'm kind of maybe I'll go through the whole thing because I think we're missing the Whispering Madness. So Heartless Summoning, Woe Strider, I would okay. So that's gonna be mana. That's gonna be drawing. Draw mana. Some of this stuff is just gonna, let's move a little quick here. Second, manas. That'll be mana. Removal. Ashes to Ashes, Thing in the Ice is removal. Pendril Mist, Toxic Deluge, Baleful Mastery is exile. Attrition, Reality Shift, Deadly Rollick, Raven Form, Curse of Swine, Hull Breacher Horror, Faceless Butcher, Gate to Phyrexia, Chupacabra, Obliterator. All right, that can all be removal. And I went exile heavy so that, it'd be bonusing up on Umbris. Pulled a few for this commander. I'm seriously considering it as a viable deck goal. I think it could be Mr. Parks, and I think it'd be kind of fun. Thassa is going to be that unblockable and protection. Distortion Strike, Protective Bubble, Shadow Rift, protection and unblockability. Gift of Doom, Slip Through Space, Swiftfoot Boots, Not of This World, Shadow Spear, Falthis, Whisper Silk Cloak, Spellskite. All right. So those can be protection. Also to consider is the Flicker and Death Flicker is going to be protection as well, but it's more kind of like counter spells. It's like somebody goes to kill your stuff and you're like, okay, I'm bringing it back, or it's coming back or something. So Stamina, Flux, Deadeye Navigator, Flicker, Whispering Madness goes over here. Victimize, Micaeus, Wake the Dead, Snapcaster Mage, I would consider probably card advantage to a degree. Reanimate, Undying Evil. And so I'm also going to, with Spark Double, I'm going to have the kind of cloning section and like doubling up on abilities. Panharmonicon would be in there, the Sakashimas. So those all go in like the clone area. And so these last bits, so that's like exiling a ton of cards. That's just turning. If I get this, Umbris turns into a one shot. So it just kind of stays, even though it's just exiling. That's all it's doing, but giving it's getting Umbris pretty huge. Maskwood Nexus just creates consistency. Yarok Fenlurker, it's an ETB. It's cheap. It kind of messes with hands. I like how that goes. Chasm Skulker gets huge when drawing. I like drawing cards. Psychosis Crawler, horror. They both are going to be doing stuff when you're drawing cards, which I like. Soul Guide Lantern and Ashiok Dream Render. I think Bear I need them in here at least a little bit to give some boost. Ashiok is also exiling, creating nightmares, is doing a lot of work in this deck. I want to play this card, and it's kind of why Windfall and Whispering Madness are still in the deck. And so I think this could really this could get huge on a wheel, but I don't have enough support for it. And so do you guys think I should get rid of on that one? That one's a sketchy one. That's a sketchy keep. But at this point, I like my clones. I like those. I like them all. So I want to keep them for now. So those will stay. All right. Let's go back to, let's just go simple, draw, and ramp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You can never have too many ways to get cards in your hand and card advantage, but we should probably want to cut this, when I say 21, probably wanting to go down to like 15-ish, especially if I can hit like some ETBs that allow me to do it. I think I'm just going to get rid of costly plunder. I don't think I need that quite anymore. So let's cut that. Village Rites, it's cheap enough and it's doing what I want to do. We'll keep that around for now. Same thing with Plum the Forbidden. It can just be so much bigger. Dread Presence makes sense. Sire Stagnation, Exiling, Sensei's Top, Skull Clamp, Heirloom Blade. For now, let's just cut. I think we cut the wheels. I think we cut the wheels for now, just because I have that. And if nobody has any strong feelings on that, we'll get rid of Nocturnus. We'll get rid of the 2 wheels. And then I think we'll be happy there for a bit. Doom Whisperer, sweet. Unfulfilled Desires, Phyrexian Arena. I think, okay, so here's the other thing that I cut these last time because I'm worried about not enough creatures actually going to the graveyard, so they're not really worth the price of what they're doing. The 3/2s are kind of doing the same thing. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17, 18. 18. Cutting these 2 would get me down to 16 and probably in a happy place with my draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. A couple of soft draws in here would be like Woe Strider and Sensei's Top, but it's just so fucking good. Doom Whisperer, Unfulfilled Desires. Those are kind of the soft spots. But some of these can just draw you a ton of cards. So happy so far with where that is at. Let's go with ramp. Let's see where we're at there. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. So Steve is saying, what about Read the Bones instead of Village Rites, unless the creature sack is what you want? Yeah. Steven, I do want the sacrifice because I do have like Machias, I have some reanimation stuff, I have protection stuff. So I do want the sacrifice to get the horrors to come back in and trigger Umbris again. But 0, I think you might be onto something with like Read the Bones. not replacing a sack outlet necessarily, but maybe replacing arena. Arena is kind of slow. It probably gets cut on this because I want to be maybe a little bit quicker. All right, let's look at these ramp pieces. Sword of Hearth and Home, I think, is going to be awesome. Arcane, these are just Oblivion Sower is going to be forced in no matter what. Sifter Skulls is a questionable one. Soldevi, Adnate, I think it's a sweet sack outlet. Signet, Talisman, Kurek's going to do some work in here. Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble. I checked earlier, and Jet Battalion has plenty of cards to reduce the cost on, which works. So these are probably my questionable ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is probably just enough. I like these, but these would go into like my maybe board. I'm fine cutting them right now, but if I see my creatures being sacrificed, coming back and doing their thing, and it could create a ton of tokens, then I bring this back and probably check out Pitiless Plunder as well. But I wanted to try Heartless Summoning for a while, and so that might just make it in there. I think that could be kind of fun. So right now I think we're at like 13 ramp. All right, let's go with protection right now. This is going to be a lot of protection, it feels like, in this, like especially this and that, where you're just saving your shit. Spellskite, since it's a horror, definitely stays. Whisper Silk Cloak. I like Falthus, since it's a nightmare, that's going to stay. I need some haste. But the reason why I don't have Greaves in here is because of the Shroud. And that is what makes me wonder about Protective Bauble and Whisper Silk Cloak as well, because these cards want to target Essence Flux, Deadeye Navigator, Ghostly Flicker. Those Flicker and Death Flicker cards, they want to target, and if you have Shroud, that makes it really tough. A little bit of people are going to go, holy shit, that's a 30/30, and then you'll never get it to stay on the board again. So I'm going to more rely on these to save Umbris than the Shroud. So I'm going to cut the Shroud at this point, just to make sure that the deck is going to flow like I want it. Shadow Spear, I want to keep for the trample and the lifelink. The lifelink is probably going to save my life, so I'll keep that. 1, 2, 3. So these are spells that target and work with Orvar, and they draw me a card, draw a card. This doesn't, but it has rebound. And I think I'm just going to force keep those as well. So these are probably my questionable ones. I like Thassa a lot. And the Indestructible is going to save Umbris, but I think it not being an instant, it is a sack outlet, but I think I'm having enough of those. And Not of This World would be super sweet. I think that works tons in here. Yeah, Shroud just doesn't work in here if I want the spells to target. So woo! Card flipping. So I think Not of This World, if you're a counterspell player, I think you're gonna really enjoy that in here. That's cool. Gifted Doom probably also works, but I'm gonna cut these two as well. Just gotta make cuts. You gotta make those decisions. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seems respectable. I'm happy with that at this point. Let's go with removal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 pieces. How much? I don't even know what do you guys normally have for removal in a deck? So the horrors definitely make it, right? Horror. Okay, so we're gonna say the horrors work because they're staying. They get to do their thing. The Thassa I have is a proxy. Yes. It's an old proxy that I had before Adam was actually making it. This one is a proxy that Adam did make. This is the Game of Thrones. Eddard Stark is about to lose his head, and Adam's pretty good at what he does. But these are the wraths. That's probably I don't like to play a lot of wraths unless I control them, kind of like these, and these would probably be worth it. That's exile. This is destroy, but it's a sack outlet. Questionable on that one. That's exile, 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 destroy, and exile. I think I cut attrition because I'm not going to have a ton of creatures. And I don't think I need the sack outlet like I was thinking I needed to. So that can get cut right off the right here. I still like Gate to Phyrexia because I don't have a lot of mass stuff. Like I don't have Cyclonic Rift in the deck. I don't have like this is the only thing that Raven Form is going to be the only card that works with or like deals with artifacts. I have no way to deal with enchantments in this deck. Um and that is the problem with not paying or playing with counter spells. So I think I'm going to keep Gate to Phyrexia in the deck at this point. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll work on that. All right. Let's do the Death Flicker stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I like Machias. I love Wake the Dead. Reanimate, which is kind of different as well. Undying Evil, Malakir, Cauldron, Lifeline. That's a reanimate card with Hell's Caretaker. Displace. I guess Wake the Dead is reanimate. Flicker, reanimate, death, flicker, flicker, flicker. So I like the spells for Orvar. We'll keep that. And then, like I was saying, I also like the spells here. 1, 2, 3. One thing I probably forgot to look up was does anybody know of any other cards that will like bring back a creature if it dies? I forgot to kind of look up and see if there were more of these. But if I could get more of these, I would be pretty happy. All right, I need to catch up. Yeah. Okay. So right now, I think Reanimate is nice and cheap. I think Victimize totally works in this deck. Hell's Caretaker is a horror, so that works. What do you guys feel about Wake the Dead? I think Wake the Dead is really cool. But maybe that's just in my head. And that is allowed to be in my head, right? All right, so you got Machias and Deadeye Navigator. I'm kind of seeing them as the same thing, along with Cauldron of Souls. Lifeline is pretty awesome, but this whole package is really fat. Like it's expensive to get down. Kind of a fun thing with Cauldron of Souls is you can target your opponent's creatures and give them persist as well. I don't know if that's something that you would find interesting, but I think it's kind of fun. So I think at this point I want to cut Deadeye Navigator. Even though I can repeatably do it, it might be more mana than I want to invest in, especially when I want to hold stuff up for the instant speed protection. So we'll cut Deadeye right now. I'll keep Machias, Cauldron, Lifeline, and Wake the Dead at this point. And then we'll do like a CMC check after this last pile. I think Ashiok is perfect in this deck. Soul Guy and Lantern, Ashiok's going to work. I like Chasm Skulker, Psychosis Crawler makes sense. Boom, boom. Fenlurker is on the fence. It kind of depends on where it is on the curve, seeing how thick it is at 2. Steve saying Wake the Dead seems pretty good. Save your ass from type of card. Plus, you get the ETB triggers and die triggers. Yeah, that's kinda what I'm thinking. It can be a pretty big move with Wake the Dead. But it might be mana intensive. I might be doing a lot with my mana already. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 7, 38, 39, 40, 2, 3, 50, 51, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 71, 72, 78. 78. So we need to cut 15 because we want to get down to 63. I'm playing with 36 lands. So that's not too bad. Gotta cut 15. Yeah. My prep beforehand kind of did some work, which was nice. All right. So let's go with I was also thinking Living Death might be good. I don't know how many. Okay, so Living Death brings back creatures from your graveyard and puts them into play, and that's for everybody, and it gets rid of yours, whatever's on the board. So it could be if I'm like planning on it, and then I don't, I make sacrifice everything, um, and then bring everything back. You have the. I think if I was controlling the graveyards more, that could be something. So that nobody had any creatures to bring back, and then it's just a wrath for sure. Um, I kind of like that idea though. I like it. I think I'm probably relying that's probably in the place of Lifeline, and I'm hoping to get more value there with Lifeline. So Lifeline's pretty cool because whenever you sacrifice a creature, it'd come back at end of turn as long as you have one, and that's just like a delayed trigger. And so you can do that all in response to a um a wrath effect or whatever you need, and then they can kind of come back. So all right, I'm gonna go start doing CMC, seeing what it's doing. Just go here. 2, 3, 4. Let's go here. 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 5, 5, 6, 4, 3, 1, 1. And this is where the music can kick in now. Just kidding. We don't have any music. We're busted ass. Whatever we're doing. All right. The actually, hey Adam, maybe somebody could say, "Hey, make a proxy of Gate to Phyrexia." That would be fucking sweet, right? Need to get Adam to do more of the reserve list stuff. Because that stuff is spendy and I'm cheap. So, all right, 7. Let's see here. 2, 2, 2, 5, 2, 2, 2, 6, 3. That's at least 3. 3, 1, 2, 4, 6, 1, 1, 3, 5, 3s, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4. All right. All right. So I got much thicker cards at 1, 2, 3, and 4 spots. So that makes me kind of happy. It means that my deck's going to move forward and work. Be better if you were playing more control. Nah, I don't. I don't really play. I have enough removal in here, I think, but I'm not really a control player. I don't have the patience for it, even though my glasses would make you think that I do have patience. I just don't. I like to move on a game. So just going through that one drop, anything look out of place. Oh, this might start getting tough. This is definitely going to start getting tough because I like all of those at one. Um, Village Rights. That has a potential to go. I'll have to check out how many. I already did draw, didn't I? That's trouble. All right. Uh, maybe you should be a better nerd. Maybe you should be a better nerd, Steve. Come on. Um, I'm pretty happy with this at the one spot right now. All right, let's check out the 2 CMC pile. Image, I like. Plum the Forbidden at this point, I like. Arcane Signet. I don't even. Soldevi Adnate might be okay. Jet Medallion, I think is going to be solid. I think Heartless Summoning just has to go. Just cause. I don't want it to kill all of my squids from like Chasm Skulker. I would say build a better deck for sure. For sure. Spellskite works, Swiftfoot Boots, Thing in the Ice, Gate to Phyrexia, Baleful Mastery, Reality Shift, and Yarok's Fernlecker, Lurker, Ben Lurker, Horror. I think we got to keep this. We might need to do like a creature check. Onto the 3 CMC spot, Cunning Rhetoric, Grizzleaxe. I really like Unfulfilled Desires. This would go really well with that Grave Idea, the Mass Reanimate card that we were just talking about. I think Phyrexian Arena just ends up getting cut at this point. It is a slowish card, but it's inevitability. It's super sweet. But I kind of have enough in here. I'm not going to worry about it. So Arena gets cut. Blade should be cool. Bowstrider can be cool. Snapcaster Mage. Has a shot to be cut. Rager, Falthus, Thassa, Toxic Deluge, and just like removal and reanimate and so Thassa has a chance to go because it's not, scrying isn't a whole ton, unblockability. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, this is definitely getting tough. I looked like I knew what I was doing in the first half. Now I'm just struggling at this point. You think Snapcaster is gonna go well, Mr. Hanley? I think so too. Snapcaster is always a really good card. And then I like my, just getting more Umbrises seems sick, right? Like having 3 or 4 or 5, or just like copying with Orvar, like that just seems crazy cool. I still like Yawgmoth in the deck. Dread Presence works because it's a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. Horror. Pendrel Miss work. Oh boy. Also true. I can clone Snappy if I need to. Yikes. Oh boy. Okay. So this is where it gets tough. Doom Whisperer is crazy. Sword of Hearth and Home. Soul. Okay. I like these two. I think I'm going to have to end up making a decision between Cauldron of Souls and Lifeline. And I am unsure of what I'm going to do. I think Cauldron of Souls does some good work with Mikaeus because it -1/-1 counters, +1/+1 counters. So you can kind of like loop it a little bit for, 3 times, like go pluses, minuses, pluses, and then that's already tapped. So you can't move on from there. But Lifeline is just so fucking good though. So I have a feeling, yeah, yep, I got to cut Lifeline. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But you can't have that much up at top. Sire and Oblivion Sower are just going to be insane in this kind of deck. Wake the Dead, Curse of Swine, Hullbreaker Horror, Kuruk. Oh boy, how many cards did I just cut right there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut 3 on that. Oh, all right. So I'm down 12. I got 12 left to cut. All right. Crawler might have to go if you are not Mega Draw deck. I mean, Part of the reason why Psychosis Crawler is in there, though, is because it is a horror. It's a horror, and it's a good horror. So, that's gonna end up being part of it. Okay, so we're down to 12 cards. You might be right, though. I had plenty of draw, though. I had plenty of draw. Okay, let's sort this into situations. All right, artifacts, instant, artifact, instant, sorcery, artifact, instant, sorcery, instant, artifact, creature, instant, creature, artifact, creature, instant, creature. The thing is I want to make sure that I have enough creatures. Like I can't just cut all of them. Horrors aren't the best. They don't have the best synergy, and I can admit that. And so maybe I'm forcing something that I shouldn't be, but we'll try and make it work. This is probably going to be more of an enchantment. Sorcery, creature, walker, artifact, creature, enchantment, creature, artifact, creature. All right. Yeah, I got the bots coming in. I can see that. Yay! Does that mean that you're known, or does it mean that they can get away with it because nobody knows us? That's okay. All right, let's see how many creatures we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 28. 28 creatures. That's like minimum. So I don't want to cut a lot here. We're at 12 cards that we need to cut, though. Still like Macias, Psychosis Crawler, Doom Whisperer, Hell's Caretaker. Orvar is going to be, I think Orvar is going to be sweet. Do you guys like the idea of Orvar? Like, is that just, I think it's sweet. Yawgmoth, I think, is going to do some good work. Because, Dread Presence, removal. Phyrexian Obliterator is going to be sweet. Clone. Chasm Skulker. So Snappy, I think Snappy stays in. I think playing enough instants and sorceries is going to do some good work. Woe Strider is a horror. I think this. Yeah, I have over 10. I have over 10 spells. So Snappy's going to do some work. I think Fenlurker is going to do some work. Thing in the Ice, I'm playing spells. This one might not flip. How many do I need to actually cast? 4 ice counters. Okay, yeah. I should be able to flip the 4 ice counters. I should be all right. Spell. So Devi Adnate might go. I think that's something that we can cut. I think that we'll cut this one. I think it's still sweet. I think it's cool. We'll go that route. Yay, one more cut. All right, down to 11. I like both planeswalkers. That should be decently simple and easy. Enchantments are pretty low here. I don't have a lot. I'm still kind of on Thassa, trying to get rid of Thassa. You know what? I don't like saying this either, but I think I'm going to get rid of Unfulfilled Desires. Can help me with my reanimation cards. So that'd be 1, 2, 3 cards. I don't I don't think that's I don't think that's worth it. So cutting unfulfilled desires, I think that's there. All right, that's 10. And yeah. I agree with that too, Zero. If I'm playing Orvar, then I'm playing Snappy. I think they both work really well together. Um, hey, bots that are putting up on the chat, maybe you can invite more bots to make it look like we have more viewers. That could be helpful, maybe. Just don't say anything though, because some random ass things don't mean anything. For now, I think I'm gonna keep these, but Thassa is I think Thassa's on the chop. Thassa's gone. At this point, if I'm thinking that it needs to go, then it just should go because that's where I'm at. I'm down to I got 9 left to cut. If I'm going like, maybe this, maybe that, then it's time to kind of go like, okay, cut them both and see where the deck kind of goes. And I think that makes it like if you're questioning if a card should go or should stay at this late stage, that's when you should just go take it out. I don't need it. We'll see where we're at. And then if you do need it later on, you can always add it in. But playing the deck is always going to help you learn what your deck needs. What if I can do that wrong? This is a sorcery. It's always going to teach you what your deck needs versus you thumbing through this stuff. The quicker that you can get a deck going and playing, the quicker you're going to know what you need. That's mine. I Zero, we have that's a good question. How many horrors to non-horrors do we have? And so there are more non-horrors in there than I would like, but I'll also add in nightmares to that list. But horrors and nightmares over here. So I would count clones coming in as horrors, but you may not. So that's just depending on what you want to do. All right. So non-horrors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That ain't too bad. I must have done some cutting before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 7, 8, 9, 22 horrors, nightmares. That'll get me a couple in my hand almost all the time. Hopefully I can draw into them. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Did I cut any artifacts? I don't think I cut any artifacts, which is trouble. Yeah, Maskwood Nexus is going to be really good. Just for the tokens, being able to make that. Oh, that's kind of a good point, though. Okay, because I only have 5 others that are going to ETB as what I want. So, but I think the tokens are going to be pretty important. Ashiok Dream Render as a cut. No, I like it. I like it in here so far because it stops. It's so much hate when you're saying like opponents you control can't search the library and then you're exiling their graveyards. I still need some graveyard hate just because that is a good rule of thumb to have some graveyard hate in your deck, even if I'm not doing that per se. Man, that's a really good point, Zero. Maskwood might go. Birthing Bows, yeah, that one from Modern Horizons. Yeah, I remember that one too. That's a good point. That's a good point to consider. Heirloom Blade. I think Heirloom Blade is kind of cool, being able to go and find the other ones. All right, I was suggesting to put it in. Didn't notice until yeah. Okay. just some general ramp to CMC ramp. Shadow Spear, I think, is going to save my ass just with the life gain. I think the artifacts are good here. I think you made a really good point about Nexus Zero. Let's cut it for now. I'm going to feel bad about that, though. I thought that was a for sure in. We got sorceries. I've lost count how many I need to cut, but Slip Through Space, Curse the Swine, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Victimize, Ashes to Ashes, Raven Form, Toxic Deluge, Reanimate, and Distortion Strike. Maybe, does Reanimate matter? Still like it. It feels very similar to the other things that I want going on. Wake the Dead, Displace, Flicker, Ghostly Flicker, Baleful Mastery, Reality Shift, Plumb the Forbidden, Undying Evil, Malachor, Supernatural Stamina, Essence Flux, Deadly Rollick. Ooh. Those are all... Okay, where are we at? 1, 2, 3. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 51, 54. 72. I counted 72 there. So I've cut 6 since the last time I cut 72, and I need to cut down 9. 9 more cuts. So Masswood Nexus would be something. ABG. Skull Clamp is going to be solid for me because I am sacrificing creatures and allowing them to die. And so, but that's actually a really good question. How many sack outlets do I actually have now? Because that could be a problem. All right. Sacrificing. Let's see here. Sacrificing. Let's see here. Sacrifice. That is a really good question. I had enough in here. Then I got rid of them all. Sacrifice. Sacrifice. All right. So how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not... Oh, yeah. And then I have 2 in my lands. Oblivion Strike is target. I don't know if I know which one Oblivion Strike is. It's getting harder now. I don't love playing Clamp without reliable access to X1s. I understand that, BG. But I'm hoping for more sack outlets. So now I might have to add, which sucks. All right, so we have Adnate and Attrition. Is this even a reliable idea at this point? I'm not even sure. Okay, all right. I think these 2 need to go in, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 2 sacrifice lands. 3? I have 3. All right, so now I'm up to 11 cuts. That's not good. I think, because that's a one-off. I like Attrition. I like Yawgmoth in there just to do... That's actually a really good point. That's really good point. All right. I don't have that much tricky shit to do. So what does that kind of mean is that maybe I should go after some of those fat cards. I don't have a lot of sack outlets. So let's be reliable on that. Okay. Let's take out Soldevi Adnate. But I'm going to leave an attrition. Let's cut attrition as well. But then actually let's go and find our big sacks. Our big sack. Gross, Lowry. You're so gross. All right. Let's get rid of Macias. I think that means if I'm getting rid of Macias and then a couple of the other cards that actually kind of work with it, let's bring back Deadeye. So not helping the cause of cutting, but I think making the deck better. All right. So I need to find Cauldron of Souls as well, I think. Oh, I kind of missed that as a sack outlet. Okay, I'm fine with that. Let's get rid of Cauldron of Souls. All right. Down 2, up 1. Making progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I think that also means, well, I don't know. 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 40. 70. All right, we're at 70 cards. So we're at eight cuts that we need to make. Definitely getting harder. All right, tagged in the Discord. Oblivion Strike. I think it being a sorcery and 4 mana, I don't think that allows it to do. Yeah, I think it's just a little too slow for where, since it's just, spot removal. Is that anything? No, it's just a creature too. Just a creature. So I don't think that's something that I want to be doing, just like spot removal. I have plenty of exile in here, I think, for opponents' creatures. All right. Let's think this through a little bit. What's the next thing? So we have 8 cards that we 7? 7. Did I count 70? I think it's just 7. So BG's saying that the blink cards feel like easy cards to cut in early drafts. The thing here is that the blink cards interact with Orvar to make copies, along with triggering Umbris and exiling more cards. And so I really like the blink in here, and along with the Death Blink. Even though there's not a lot of Death Blink cards that I could find, I might have to sit down and look for a few more. I do like them, but they're nice like trick plays a little bit. All right, let's just fucking go through this. All right, Panharmonicon displaces blinking 2. Undying Evil is bringing stuff back. Malachor Rebirth bringing back supernatural stamina. Orvar should be cool. Doom Whisper is super powerful. I need the horrors though. I need the horrors, right? So Zero's asking why Deadeye coming back in. I since I don't have the sacrificing, I want the blinking, I think, and I'll want the blinking maybe more. Maybe it can just still be cut, but like maybe ending the game, just being able to blink something a bunch of times at the end of the game and can mill somebody out. And it's still kind of on theme with what I'm doing here. So we will see why that happened. All right, Hullbreaker Horror, Sire Stagnation is going to do work. Deadeye Navigator, Skulker is going to be sweet. Spark Double. What do you guys think about Pendulum Miss? Is that something I like Toxic Deluge. Let's get rid of Miss. I think you can still say if you like it or not as an idea, but I think I'm not going to be able to keep up. So I think that's something that can go. That should be maybe 6 more. Cunning Rhetoric, Ashiok, Ashiok, Phantasmal Image, Victimize, Gate to Phyrexia, just in case, Phyrexian Rager, Falthus, Oblivion Sower, Snapcaster, Spellskite, Thing in the Ice. Yeah, that's true, Zero. It's not on theme. I think we're light on creatures, so like Pendulum Mist could work, but it isn't on theme. I think that's a really good point. Yarok, Grazilax, Woe Strider, Faceless Butcher, Dread Presence, Sakashima, Phyrexian, Chupacabra, Tasha's, Sword, Raven Form. I still like Toxic Deluge in here just as my one Wrath option in here. So just to, and then maybe one shot somebody. Distortion Strike, Ghostly Flicker, Baleful, Reality Shift, Heirloom Blade. This might be just like too cute at this point. I think that's too cute. We'll get rid of it. Swiftfoot Boots, Jet Medallion, blop, blop, blop. Plumb the Forbidden. I think now that I got rid of the mass amount, I get rid of. No, I still have the one shot. I'll keep the one shot in there. But I think I'm going to cut Plumb the Forbidden because I don't have Machias or any of those other cards that are going to bring stuff back. Really went light on the reanimate stuff. Went much more in like allowing the blink to work. Slip through space, unblockable, exiling. So keeping that, just 2 cards ain't too bad. Sacrificing just a little bit. Yawgmoth I think is going to be not as good now either. Because I just have like 3 and a couple of reanimate. I don't think Yawgmoth works in here either anymore. Now that I cut Machias and all that other stuff. Wake the Dead still kind of works. Kuruk, Sakashima, Sensei's, Shadow Sphere still seems sweet. I still like the idea of Skull Clamp. Feels like I'm cutting a lot of draw if I cut that. And I might be. BG, you might be right. Skull Clamp might go at this point. We don't have a lot of 1/1s. All right, Snapcaster. Snapcaster, I think, is going to work with the blink and the reanimate. I think that's going to work in here. What? I'm going to do a recount because we might be pretty close at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no. Seven, 8, 9, 65. So we have two more to cut, and then we'll kind of run through everything and make sure that we got what's going on. 2 is not bad. We're close here, my guys. All right, let's go CMC at this point. 3, 1, just to kind of. Oh, maybe I should go purpose. We'll go purpose this time, because if we're losing a lot of draw, we're in trouble. Ramp, unblockable. We'll go with reanimate here. Removal, ramp, protection. We got some draw. We got some clones. Mana, reanimate. Consider that draw. Removal. Unblockable. That's going to be in there. exiling, ramp. Protection, removal, blink, blockable, that's removal. Probably more important to have that in the ramp section. That's exiling, removal. That can be draw, removal, draw. That's probably removal technically. Protection, ramp. We got draw, removal, reanimate. This is going to be giving me card choices. Ramp. We got that. We got a little blinky. Sire's going to draw me cards. Removal, reanimate, double up. Boom. Orvar's doing some cool stuff. All right. This is what I'm worried about. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're at 10. That's too little, in my opinion. I cut too much. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 is okay. 6, 7. Let's see here. I'm cool with all that at this point. All right, so we're at 2, but we're probably going to have to add these to some land and stuff like that. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm probably happy with all of those. That's a good point. So BG is saying, I've got a lot of redundant instant and sorceries. Snappy is good to me when there are unique effects. I agree with that assessment. I think that's a really good point. Let's cut Snappy. Snappy's gone. I think we still need to add in some draw, some like really solid draw. And I don't have any of the like the blue cheap draw. So I can always go and get like Ponder and stuff like that in that range and just add that in for consistency. If we don't get there. Oh, I like that. We got that. I like those. I'm fine with that. But you're probably right about. So at this point, I think Psychosis Crawler and Chasm Skulker would be cut if they weren't horrors already. I don't think we have enough draw to really make that work. These make sense to me at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think Victimize doesn't really target the creature. I need some big plays a little bit. Deadeye. Okay. All right, Zero. I think you're right. I think we can cut that big time. It's kind of fatty. Still like Wake the Dead. I think that's going to be a fun card. So technically that's our 2, but we can try and cut more because I'm going to have to add in at least some draw. Yes. Yep. Windfall and Whispering Madness definitely work. And I had them in here. And if I have them in here, I'm going to bring in the Nocturnus as well, which I think would be really fun. Let's see here. Let's go back and check out what we're cutting. I still Let's see here. let's just make sure we have consistency. Let's get Phyrexian Arena back in there. We're going to go with Abyssal Nocturnus, and then we'll add in Windfall Whispering Madness to it. And are there any other like drawing cards that I just kind of cut? Let's see here. I think these are just older cuts that were from last week, and I'm trying to see if there's something. I don't think I'm going to have enough creatures to bounce back and forth. I don't think that's something I want to do. Is there anything that's just going to kind of give me a little bit of a draw engine? I mean, obviously I could go like Rhystic Study. That card's just fucking crazy. But sometimes you just don't want to play with it. I am going with more Spellslinger. Docent of Perfection could be something interesting. I might add that back into the batch as kind of like the spell slinging section. Doesn't really fit anywhere though. Makes me tokens. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, let's look here. So mill could definitely be a thing, but it is not a thing that I'm doing. I don't. They're just lands that I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to be missing. I think I can just add in those cheap draws to get consistent. I don't think I have enough consistent draw in here initially, but for the sake, maybe I just add in Phyrexian Gargantuan. It's a horror. It draws me 2 cards. I lose 2 life. It's a 4/4. I don't. Do we think that Phyrexian Gargantuan is just too expensive? It probably is. But I need some horrors. Sculptor. I mean, at this point, maybe I just get happy. I'm just fine. I'll push that one to the front, and it might be something that it might just fit into the mix, but we'll see where we're going. Okay. So we're darn close. We can smell it at this point. I'm just futzing around a little bit. All right, let's do a count. Let's see where we're at. We're probably back up to like 2 or 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 18, 19, 20, 29, 5, 6, 63. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're 5 over. What did I do? I had some easy stuff going on, and then I just made it tough. Okay. What is the next best way to do this? We can. I just got done doing where they were. So let's go. I don't think there's anything slim. Oh, I didn't fucking count. No, I did. Okay. So what? We're at 5. I broke your internet. 0, that's not my fault, man. That's your fault. Do you know what I think we need to do? Okay, so we have 5. I think we get rid of Wake the Dead. I don't have that much of a sacrificing. I got a couple of reanimate. I got a couple of saves. this probably wouldn't be done to the full potential. So we'll get rid of that banger. I think it'll be cool. Down to 4. I Oblivion Sower is going to be sweet. Sword of Hearth and Home. Let's see here. Deadly Rollick. Oh, I just saw something today. Let me see if I can quick find it. Adding that into the mix too. All right. Okay. Open into Wonder. X blue sorcery. X target creatures can't be blocked this turn. Until end of turn, those creatures gain whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draws a card. So I'm going to be able to draw a bunch of cards, hopefully. I'm targeting a bunch of my creatures, so Orvar is going to trigger a bunch, and it's making things unblockable. I think this is doing a lot of what I want to be doing. Totally works. Back up to needing to 5 cuts. I'm good at this. Cut 3 islands, 2 swamps. You don't need that. Go down to 31 lands. That's not the horror nightmare count is like 22-ish. That's where we're at. It's a little light. That's why I don't want to cut there. Oh, fuck. Does it really? It only... All right. So Orvar apparently only triggers once per spell. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other... Yeah, one or more. All right. All right. Well, I think I'm still happy with it, but it's not as fucking good as I thought it was going to be. Is it too expensive? I mean, it gets me draw. It's still a spell, so it would trigger Orvar. All right, let's see here. Let's kind of get this into, let's do spells. Let's see what they're doing. Again. All right. This card's so fucking good. I'm excited about that one. Creature. So have that Batman robe on from the cast from yesterday, and it is just not for me. It has all these little black fuzzes fucking flying around, and I could do without that. The creature instant. I think Nocturnus is going to be sweet. I still like the idea of the wheels. Artifacts, creature. Oh yeah, I added that into creature. All right, so fine with the planeswalkers. I don't want to scrutinize them too much. Let's cut Phyrexian Arena again. Let's say we're down to 4. Just 2 enchantments. That's fine by me. Sorceries. Don't hate any of these. I'm going to cut Gate to Phyrexia. I think that just is too slow. And I think that works. Down to 3. Windfall, I think that works. Slip through space. Distortion Strike. I like that. Raven Form. Just because it's dealing with an artifact, but does anybody else think that I should maybe adding in Mass Bounce? would work better than like Toxic Deluge. A couple of cards that just return all creatures. Well, I need to be able to deal with artifacts though too. Fine with them so far. Instance. Displace supernatural stamina. Ooh, the instants are going to be good. I cut arena. I'm going to keep village rights, but I have a feeling this is just going to switch over to good old blue 1 mana draw. I don't have any problem with that idea. Kind of stinks that I got rid of the. So right now, what I ended up doing today was figuring out like, okay, I'm cool with the blink, but the reanimate, like the death blink, just isn't going to be consistent enough. And along with spell slinging with Orvar, and so I had to choose and kind of cut some of the stuff there to make sure that it was, you know, you're not diluting one idea over the other. So I ended up choosing Orvar over the Macias and like the mass sack stuff outlet. So that's probably where this needs to be adjusted to. And like I said, so that'll probably go, but I'll probably have to, we'll say, take it out right now. And then we'll add some just consistency later on the lower side. Shadow Spear, Demir Signet. I mean, all of these. I'm going to cut Jet Medallion. I don't think I need it. I think I got a lot of 1 mana stuff. That would be nice. Yeah, I think that can go. I think we're down to 1 at this point. Swiftfoot Boots, Panharmonicon, Soul Guide, boom. Yeah, those are nice. All right, let's get an official count on the creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We have 23 horrors and 2 Eldrazi, and that's where we're at right now. So that puts us at 24 creatures plus Umbris. I'm I would be loath to cut any creatures at this point. Like that's just not something that I want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. All right. 64. So there's 1 more there. Somewhere in there. How many ETBs do I have? All right, that's a solid question, but I feel like a lot of them I was aiming for ETBs, but not all of them for sure. Make sure none of those are. All right. So out of the creatures, let's focus on the creatures. So technically, all of the horrors and nightmares have ETB exile triggers because of manifest. So Panharmonicon would double on that, but also let's just go with whatever ETBs there are. That's an ETB. I wouldn't consider that. Ooh, maybe not. We got 3. That's a good call. I think you're going for Panharmonicon, weren't you? So, okay. So, Zero, I think that's a really good point. So, because Panharmonicon needs to do some heavy lifting here right now. It is triggering the exiles, but I only have 4 ETB creatures at this point. So is that enough for Panharmonicon to stick around? And that's a really good question. I thought I had more ETB. That's a good thing to look at. But we're looking to cut one card, and it's only going to interact with 4 cards in my deck unless I have Umbris in play. Uh, so I think, yeah, yeah. So I think it's really good with the commander. That's what I'm going for. But I'm looking for one card, so there is a potential to cut that at this point. So Panharmonicon has a shot to go. We only have one more cut, and let's kind of go through. Let's just what doesn't thrill me at this point, or you guys, whoever's watching. Maybe you're just yelling at me, saying "World Shaper" or whatever. It's not in here, but listen to the podcast. Makes sense. Makes sense. I like so technically, I am not BG. I am not cutting an Eldrazi, sir. That's not happening. Um, I think I like Skulker and Psychosis Crawler, but you I think you have the right idea. If I cut one, I would cut the other one. And if I cut those, I'd do the Nocturnus and then the 2 wheels, and then probably just add in a couple of cards that just draw me cards. Is that something that I don't want to I don't want to be cutting creatures right now. I'm really short and I need those things to kind of do Umbris's thing. Um might just be like some sort of removal. It might be Toxic Deluge, Displace. Whew, this is grindy. Maybe I like the idea of cutting Rhetoric, but maybe just some type of Baleful Mastery or some type of exile effect. Because this is all right. And opponent draws a card. Exile target creature or planeswalker. So technically, I can exile a card, have the other opponent draw a card, and move. I kind of like that. Maybe I cut something simple, something that I've played with a bunch, just so I can get a different feel for different cards. And I think I'm still looking at. I haven't played with Raven Form. Hits an artifact. I kind of like that idea. Maybe I'm going for that manifest one. Maybe a reality shift. I think that's what we're doing. Yeah. We're gonna cut just reality shift. Something simple, something easy. We'll keep Panharmonicon in here. And let's just make sure that our curve isn't just crazy. It shouldn't be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Um so makes so Steven's saying make a real good staple versus. Rhetoric seems like a good cut. Uh Imagine B might be cut because it can't be targeted. That's true. That's true. All right. So we're looking at reality shift, and I'll just start. That can be over there. It can be a potential cut. I like the idea of cutting rhetoric, but it might not be the right place here. All right. 4, 4, 2, 6, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 5, 3, 3. All right. That has a potential to go as well. It's going to be It's going to be a good card. Yeah, so Spell Matter cards are kind of decent in here. Oh, which makes me want to go back to that, oh, I don't know what the fuck I was doing here. That doesn't count. One, that's 3, at least over time. 5xx. 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. 3, 1, 0. It's 5, 2, 1, 2, 1. I think Phantasmal Image has a good shot of being cut. I think that has a really good shot. I like Reality Shift. We need at least some sort of, we have enough removal. I like the X spells. This seems powerful enough. This seems powerful enough, especially being a horror. I'm fine with Kirk being in here. Those X spells seem solid. Sire of Stagnation, Oblivion Sword. I like both of them quite a bit. We have Psychosis Crawler. I think Image was a good suggestion, BG. Let's see here. I like the couple of windmills. I still like Panharmonicon, but I get it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think that's going to be it. I think that's where we're at. It's just a little too generic. Doesn't do a whole ton. I can't target it with any of my blinky stuff, or so there's that. I think that's it. Last cut. Phantasmal Image. Good suggestion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 7, 3, 44, 50, 51, 62. Almost got stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 19, 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, 20. 9, 10, 18, 19, 20. I didn't even have to work that hard. All right. Phantasmal Image can come back in. We're at 63 cards. And I think that's... Oh, that's... You know what? I just ordered... BG said, throw the clone model face card with the land in the back. I don't own that right now, but it is on its way. Should be here next week. Also got a couple of horrors in the mail that might make it in, but right now this is gonna be the deck. Let's go through it real quick, and then maybe not, because and then I plan on doing like I'll do a deck tech whenever I kind of feel like I really like the deck at this point, or at that point. I'll have it sleeved up. It'll get its own little spotlight deck thing going on. And what do you guys think about the deck? I think it was kind of fun. I think it's interesting. I don't know. I don't really know what a lot of Umbris deck lists look like, but this one, blinking and allowing things to die a little bit, maybe doing some copying with Orvar. I think it can be doing a lot of fun stuff. And I'll be interested to see how it plays and stuff like that. So I think that's it. I think we're done. And thanks everybody for coming and checking it out. Give it a like or subscribe if you're not to the Commander Smiths. And I'll be doing this streaming consistently every Thursday night around 9 o'clock. I think I'm going to push it back to 9 o'clock. I think that's going to be the consistent thing at this point. Had a ton of fun. And if you're building an Umbris deck, write in the comments where you feel like your deck is ending up, because I think the mill version has enough support to make it kind of cool too. And yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. Bye.